welcome back to Screen. A significant chunk of Helen Mirren's career has been spent playing powerful, historical women. And now she's at it again. Graham.
Well, Margaret, HBO's new four-part costume drama, Catherine the Great, is a sumptuous vehicle for Helen Mirren, who as executive producer was determined in this lavish production to celebrate older women as powerful, active, courageous and smart. And she's an old hand at this regal business, and there's always been something undeniably imperial about her demeanour, which might well account for all those awards for her various portrayals of Elizabeth I and Elizabeth II. Now she's presiding over Russia as Catherine the Great, the German-born aristocrat who married Russia's heir and later usurped him to rule for an improbable 34 years, during which she expanded Russia's imperial dominance, opened it to Western thought and became the richest woman in history. It seems that a few years ago, Mirren happened to mention in an interview that she'd like to play Catherine, a role she'd obviously coveted given that she was born Helen Mirrenov, daughter to Vasily Petrovich and granddaughter to Pyotr Vasilievich Mirrenov, a colonel in the Imperial Russian Army. It's a role she might have been born to play, aided in its execution by Nigel Williams' crisp 4-episode script, hurtling from incident to incident, and the direction of Philip Martin, who had directed Mirren in the brilliant Prime Suspect. And we're quickly propelled into a plot, heaving with treachery, violence, intrigue, and quite a few rather risque sexual shenanigans. It's a court that, well, like to shag. There's a strong cast, too, surrounding Mirren. Rory Kinnear is the Minister Pannon, not to be trusted like so many in Catherine's court. Jason Clarke is Grigory Potemkin, the soldier she singles out for her sexual attention.
Here I am.
My regiment said I was to report to your private office.
And Richard Roxburgh is the bad-tempered Grigory Orlov, the lover Potemkin replaces. Mirren is as good as ever here, so accomplished and so bristlingly sexy, brilliantly maintaining opposing traits of single-minded ambition and a sad, withheld vulnerability. She plays it with an aura of steel-tempered toughness too, that's simply the necessary psychic armour to fight her way through a world where everyone is a possible enemy. But at moments that catch you unaware, she's vital and engaging, mischievous and flirtatious.
She's certainly flirtatious.
Well,
look,
yes,
Mirren
in that court.
Absolutely eats this role for breakfast.
Yeah.
What I minded in doing the research, I mean, Catherine came to the throne at the age of 33. That's really very young. And I actually think she would have been better off casting a younger actress to play. I know, I don't want to be ageist about this. I just want to be realistic about it, because I think if you had her as a very young woman dealing with all this shit around her, you know, I mean, then it's even more magnificent. She was so young and she actually handled all these intrigues.
Helen Mirren is executive producer. It's her show. You think she's going to give that role up and give it to some 32-year-old?
She can play her later on, you know, later on.
I don't know how far it goes. I don't know how many years of the 34-year reign we're going to see in 4 episodes. We only see about 4 days in the first episode.
Well,
there's a lot of reign to come.
Yes. And look, it is beautifully designed. The costumes are splendiferous. I mean, I think it's interesting, those 2 Aussies that have been cast. And Mirren worked with Jason Clarke on Winchester, the Spearig Brothers film that she shot out here in Australia.
That's right, yes. You're a great fan of Jason Clarke's, aren't you?
Yeah, I think
not
he's
such
really
a great fan.
terrific, and I think he's got a really strong presence on screen.
Well, he grew on me in this. As Richard Roxburgh, not so much. Poor old Richard saddled with
he's on the way out anyway.
He's on the way out anyway. He whinges and moans and groans and plots, and he's always in shadow, and he looks about 20 years older than he actually is, I think, in this too, which is a bit odd.
What price that party at the end where the men dress up as women and the women dress up as
That
men?
was a bit confusing to start with. I thought Roxburgh's suddenly gone into drag. What's he doing?
Exactly.
He's having it off with her, and he's in funny... Well, yeah, that was a bit... Then let's explain.
Funny times. Well, she apparently had something like 22 lovers in her life, you know, and illegitimate children that are scattered all over the place. Look, I'm going to give it 4 stars. It's pretty magnificent.
It's pretty. I'll give it 4 for the magnificence as well. The rest of it's a bit all over the joint, but it's superb to look at.
You owe all of your money, all of your palaces, and all of your military power to me. I own you.